Welcome to Psych with Sigmund, the show where we dive into the fascinating world of psychology to explore the complexities of the human mind. I'm your host, Sigmund, and today we're going to talk about a psychological concept that affects us all, the scarcity principle. The scarcity principle is a fundamental idea in psychology that suggests that people tend to place a higher value on things that are scarce or difficult to obtain. This principle can influence our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in many areas of life, from consumerism to relationships. But why does this happen? To understand the underlying mechanisms, let's take a step back and look at the theoretical background. One of the key theories behind the scarcity principle is the concept of reactance theory, developed by psychologist Jack Bremham. Reactance theory proposes that when we perceive a restriction or limitation on our freedom, we experience an emotional response called reactance, which motivates us to restore our freedom. This can lead to an increased desire for the thing that's being restricted. Another important concept related to the scarcity principle is social proof theory, developed by Robert Cialdini. Social proof theory suggests that people tend to follow the actions of others when they're uncertain about what to do. If everyone else seems to want something, we're more likely to want it too. This can create a self-reinforcing cycle where scarcity fuels demand, and demand reinforces scarcity. Our understanding of the scarcity principle has evolved over time through various research studies. For example, a classic study by Warshall, Lee, and Adewale found that people rated cookies as more desirable when they were scarce than when they were plentiful. More recent studies have replicated these findings in different contexts, such as online shopping and social media. But what about real-world applications? How can understanding the scarcity principle help us in our everyday lives? One practical example is in marketing. Companies often use scarcity tactics to create a sense of urgency and increase demand for their products. By being aware of these tactics, we can make more informed purchasing decisions and avoid buying things simply because they're perceived as scarce. In addition to consumerism, the scarcity principle can also affect our relationships and personal growth. For instance, if we perceive time or opportunities as scarce, we may experience anxiety or make impulsive decisions that ultimately hinder our progress. By recognizing how perceptions of scarcity might be influencing our thoughts and behaviors, we can develop more balanced and fulfilling approaches to life. To illustrate this concept further, let's consider a case study. Imagine a person named Alex who feels like they're running out of time to achieve their career goals. As a result, Alex starts to feel anxious and overwhelmed, leading them to make impulsive decisions that ultimately hinder their progress. By recognizing how the perception of scarcity is driving their behavior, Alex can begin to reframe their thoughts and focus on what they can control, rather than getting caught up in feelings of urgency and competition. In therapy, cognitive behavioral techniques such as cognitive restructuring and mindfulness can help individuals identify and challenge negative thought patterns related to the scarcity principle. By becoming more aware of our thoughts and emotions, we can develop more adaptive coping strategies and improve our overall well-being. In conclusion, the scarcity principle is a profound psychological concept that reveals the intricate dynamics of human desire, perception, and decision-making. It's a reminder that our brains are wired to respond to scarcity in unique ways, often leading us to value things more simply because they're hard to get. As we navigate our lives, being aware of this principle can help us make better choices, cultivate more meaningful relationships, and perhaps find a healthier balance between what we want and what we truly need. That's all for today's Psych with Sigmund. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, may your ego find balance between pleasure and reality.